Hello, everyone. This is Nidal Haykal, your host for today's episode with what I call her the Superwoman live from Dubai. She's a Lebanese trilingual lawyer. She's a member of Beirut Bar Association. Her current position is uh, senior legal counsel at Samsung in the MENA area. She holds LLM from France, specialized in litigation, arbitration, and alternative dispute resolution. She holds a lot of certificates, and I'm gonna leave this part for her. Let's all welcome the superwoman, a lawyer, Nada Sadir, live from Dubai. Hello.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much, Nidal, for this amazing introduction. Thank you for having me. I'm very honored to be with you here today. I would like also to thank the audience for listening to us and what we have to say together for this 45 minutes. Thank you for introducing me the way you did. So, I mean, we are all superwomen and superman, so let's see how we can, yeah.
welcome. راح نشيل التكليف واهلا وسهلا ندى صادر. We're both Lebanese. We have the same language, Arabic. I'm also so honored for your support being with us today and to share with the audience a wonderful experience you have in training, coaching, leadership, and in your basic career, which is law. You are a regional senior consultant for Samsung based in Dubai for the MENA region. And with no further ado, please, Nada Sadir, introduce yourself the way you would like to, because you hold a lot of certificates. And, I would love to share all this with the audience. It's all yours. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Nidal. So I would like to thank you once again. I would like to thank the audience for taking the time to be here with us today. And so the way I would like to introduce myself is that, as you said, my name is Nada Sadir. I am Lebanese. I speak French, English, and Arabic. I'm married to a Serbian amazing husband called Marko Nikodijevic. I am soon expecting a baby girl, so I'm now pregnant and due. Yes, thank you so much. So I'm so excited to becoming a mother as well, on top of all those certifications and all the, the efforts I have done to be a career-oriented woman. So now also I'm so enjoying, the fact that I'm going to become a mother as well. In brief, I am, yes, a lawyer, registered at the Beirut Bar Association since 2005. I studied law at the Beirut, at St. Joseph University in Beirut. And then I got a bachelor, so I got my bachelor degree in law. Then wanting to, resolve disputes in an amicable way, I specialized in arbitration and alternative dispute resolutions, meaning how to resolve disputes in an amicable way and faster way. So I traveled to Paris and I got my LLM degree in arbitration. I also, given my, will to expand my knowledge and my learnings, so I also decided to, I became aware of the importance of the mental health and the emotional health. We will discuss all this together today. So basically, I became a coach, a life coach, an NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, I'll explain this later, coach, and emotional intelligence coach as well.
Wow.
And since I like to train people, and I like training and teaching. I also certified with the Original Society of NLP, and I am now a holder of a training certificate from the Original Society of NLP in the US. So I also provide trainings so that I can expand the knowledge to others as well. And on top of that, I am a Reiki healer. I will explain this later. So it's a modality of healing. So I do believe that, our success and happiness depends on us understanding our energy field, our emotions, our mental health, so that we can achieve greater success and happiness. So that's
Wow, amazing, Nada. You see, you made it easier for me. I would never be able to, keep all this information. I write it down, but it's better to hear it from you.
Thank
This
you,
is
Nidal.
this is really a big achievement, Nada, and I think today is very important when we keep learning and keep working on ourselves. Nada, let's start with your journey, where it started within the legal industry. Can you brief us about your journey as a lawyer?
Yes, of course, of course. So basically, ever since I was a kid, my mother and father are both lawyers, so it runs in the family. And I've always wanted, I had this curiosity to understand, the human mind and how to resolve disputes, how to help others resolve their problems, what they call so-called problems. At the time, I used to call them problems. But now I will explain how I changed the wording into a different wording. So my curiosity, to help people to understand their mind, process how they process, how I can help them resolve their conflicts. I decided to study law. So I went to the university, to St. Joseph University. I enrolled there. I got my bachelor degree back in 1999 from the St. Joseph University of Beirut. And then after that, I decided to go into an internship, because to become a lawyer, you need to have your bachelor degree, and then you need to train. As you are aware, you are also a lawyer. So basically, I enrolled. I presented my application to become a trainee lawyer. So I trained in different law firms in Lebanon. For the training is for 3 years. So I trained at Fadi Jamaluddin law firm, Badr al-Maushi, several different law firms in Lebanon.
Famous law firms in Lebanon, yes.
Yes, the famous law firms, to expand once again the knowledge, and because every law firm is specialized, as you know, in one specific field of law. And after that, in parallel, I also studied. I studied to become to hold the arbitration and alternative dispute resolution degree. So I traveled while training. I traveled to Paris. I got a scholarship from the Ministry of Justice in Paris, and I went to study my master's in arbitration and alternative dispute resolutions in Paris, in Pantheon Assas, which is one of the most renowned universities in Paris. And I got my master's, the USS, as we say, a specialized master's in arbitration and alternative dispute resolutions. After that, I came back to Lebanon, presented my bar exam, succeeded, and became a member of the Beirut Bar Association in 2005. And I became a lawyer registered in 2008. Then the law firm where I was working told me, you know what, we have an opportunity for you to go to Dubai. Would you be interested? So I'm like, yes, of course, why not? So I traveled to Dubai, and in Dubai, I worked in several law firms. I first worked in the law firm of Fadi Jamaluddin, which was actually a joint venture between two other big law firms in Lebanon, and which was called the 11th Lawyers. I worked there for like 2 years. Then, as you know, in Dubai in 2009, we were hit by the crisis.
Yes.
So our offices had to shut down together with any other offices in the region. So what I did is I submitted my CV to a very known, what we call it, a magic circle firm, a UK magic circle firm called DLA Piper. And at DLA Piper, I worked there for like 4 or 5 years in the litigation and arbitration department. After that, so this is what we call, as you know, working in private practice.
Mm-hmm.
So I got my degree, I registered myself as a lawyer, came to Dubai. I worked in Lebanon for like 5 years. Then I came to Dubai, and I have been working as a lawyer in Dubai for the past, say, 12 years. First, my journey in Dubai started as a lawyer working in a law firm. So I worked in 2 law firms, as I said. Then after that, I left DLA Piper and I said, okay, let me go on a journey moving in-house, meaning being a lawyer working within a company, no longer in a law firm. So I joined the oil and gas industry in 2013. And it's Weatherford, which is one of the also renowned oil and gas companies in the world. And it was a nice experience for me, but the industry was not that of an interest. So in December 2013, 14, I basically moved to Samsung. I got the opportunity to hold the position of Senior Legal Counsel at Samsung. And I've been since then, since December 2014 until today, working for Samsung and today I hold the position of a Regional Senior Legal Counsel. So I'm in charge of all the contracts and disputes and corporate governance in Samsung for all the MENA region, so 23 countries overall. So that is my profession.
It's the Middle East and North Africa.
Yeah. Yes, correct.
Was there any regrets with this journey? Did practicing law on different and studying law shape your or ambition in a certain way?
To be honest, I was very happy with my choice because I always wanted to help people. So I found myself, working as a lawyer, mainly working as a litigator, in courts and going to courts and defending people's rights. Here in Dubai, you don't have that opportunity, but you still do have the opportunity not to defend in court, but rather to, prepare the files, manage the local advocates, who should be Emiratis, but like it's still interesting. But not as interesting. But I don't regret it. On the contrary, it's studying law broadens your horizons.
Exactly.
You need to know the laws. It's like a general kind of like knowledge that you can acquire. So no, it's fine. Yeah.
And what I found interesting in studying law and practicing as a lawyer is the necessity to communicate with people, to always be ready to be engaged with the people, listening to their problems, finding the solution. And within this process, it's really seductive, because when you execute the solution, it's really amazing. Me personally, it satisfies me on different levels. Nada, you are also a Reiki healer, NLP and emotional intelligence coach, or master coach. Can you tell us also about this combination? And is it easy to take all those certifications all together?
Well, let me tell you. So basically, since I was, as I was saying, always interested, in discovering how people communicate, as you're saying, like how they communicate, how they communicate with themselves, and how they communicate with others. What stories do they say to themselves? What inner dialogue do they have? And how do they communicate with others? So I started realizing in my career as a lawyer that, like to be able to defend others, I need to first understand how I communicate with myself and how I can empower myself so that I can empower others and communicate better with others. So I became aware in my mid 20s of the importance of understanding the energy field. You know, like I came to understand that when you understand your energy field, you know, when you go into a room, for example, even in a courtroom or anything, and you shake the hand of someone, of a lawyer, of a judge, you know, there's some energy and it's scientifically proven, this energy. So the more you understand this
And
energy,
we feel
the
it,
more
yes. We feel
the
it
more
all
you
the
feel
time.
it, exactly. So the more you feel it, the more you understand it, the better you can create an environment of safety, of trust, of communication. So I said, okay, let me explore, go deeper into that field. So I basically studied Reiki. Reiki is one of the modalities of dealing with energy, and basically Rei means, you know, universal, and ki means energy, and it's a universal energy. So basically it's the energy that surrounds us, and basically this energy, this technique is a Japanese technique.
Oh, it's
Okay,
Japanese.
it's a Japanese technique coming from Masawi Yushui, who is basically a Japanese monk, and he became aware of this energy. And basically what he considers is that every single person has 7 chakras, means points of energy,
Yes.
in the body, and each chakra has to deal either with a physical pain or an emotional pain or a mental pain. And this therapy consists on us putting our hands on the patient's chakras, points of energy, to understand, you know, to try to restore balance of the all the chakras from a mental, physical, and emotional perspective. And the person feels very relieved. And basically, it has amazing health benefits also. And the person is more calm. So each time, for example, I have a meeting or I have, let's say, a court hearing or etc., I became aware of, you know, reikiing myself so that you are more, you know, peaceful, more calm, more focused, and less stressed or emotional, or, you know, basically more focused.
Oh,
So I,
uh, it's a
yeah,
two-way. Like you can do it on yourself too, right? Not
yes,
on others.
yes,
Like,
exactly. So
I mean,
first you learn how to heal yourself in level 1, because there are 3 levels. So level 1, you learn how to heal yourself. And level 2, you learn how to heal others, and how to, there are some symbols that you learn, which basically open those chakras so that you are more exposed to the universal energy. So what I do is I don't give my energy to you. I basically channel it, and I act like a conductor of energy, and I channel it into the person. So yes, you heal yourself and others. And so I studied that, and then you become a master. By that, it means that you are able to teach Reiki and to be able to give this energy to someone else, to your students. We call this process the attunement. So you learn how to attune your clients and your students to the Reiki energy. It means it's a small ritual that you do that is purely scientific. It's just that you are giving the energy through specific techniques to your students so that they can as well start doing Reiki for themselves and for others.
and
So
this is your current level in Reiki.
yes, that's the highest basically level, is to become a Reiki master, meaning being able to Reiki yourself, Reiki others, and actually train others to become themselves Reiki healers. And so after that, that was in my mid 20s. After that, I'm like, wow, it's so nice, you know, to learn your energy field, your energy body, the energy field and body of other people. And I have practiced it, and a lot of my friends and family, my dad mainly, for example, my husband, they really feel a lot of you know, satisfaction when they are Reiki. So it's such a nice kind of awareness on the importance of the energy. And I remember very well in meetings also where some stress occurred at work. So I had given Reiki to the room, and energy,
Wow.
positive energy to the room. So it gives, like, it calms down the environment, calms down the mind of people, and puts them in a nice kind of environment. So it helped. So that's Reiki. And then after that,
Before we move on, where do you study this science, Nada?
yes. So basically, you don't have a university. There are no universities where you study it. So basically, the founder, Masao Yusui, he has what we call a lineage, يعني like a تبعية, like a hierarchy. So he was the master. Then he had under him, he taught Reiki to his students. Madame Takeda, for example, and that was in Japan. Then she took that science to the West, and she started spreading it to teachers. Okay, and she started teaching. So each teacher received and has a lineage all the way up to Mazowi. So each one was teaching, so then you have like a pyramid. He was teaching them, they were teaching, and then, for example, my teacher was taught with one of the students of this guy, for example. So it goes up to him. So you just learn it from, you just Google for Reiki. There are some Reiki centers all over the world where you have Reiki masters registered, and you can actually register. You don't get any certification from a university, but you do get a certification from your Reiki master, who himself has got it from someone else all the way to the top. So you have like a lineage, you call it. So it is like a certificate. It's a lineage which shows your tree. It's like the tree of the, like you have the tree of the family. So you have the tree that takes you all the way to the base, to the top. Sorry, who is basically Mr. Yusui, who has founded Reiki.
And you are one of the masters.
Yes. So I can now. So now, for example, when I teach, if you're interested, or whomever I teach, so basically you will have my name as your Reiki master, and then you will have my lineage. So under me, your name will be there. Then you have Nada, on top of Nada, my teacher, on top of my teacher, her teacher, all the way to up to the founder of Reiki.
Wow, it's really interesting. Nada, let me stop with. I have some comments and questions.
Yes, of course.
And you can see them. Almaha Kadash.
Yes, congratulations.
Congratulations. My wife, she's also watching. She needs to learn that.
She needs to learn that for sure, anytime.
Never.
Why?
She's doing keto diets, and it's I'm suffering. So she's gonna try everything with the Reiki.
Of course, why not? It's a good way to basically, yes, the more you understand your emotions and the way your body works, the more you can, lose weight. Sometimes weight is related to emotional issues as well. Yeah.
Nada, do you want to go through all the questions from Muhammad? Thank you, Muhammad Khudair, for being with us. Or do you want us to leave it till the end? Thank you for your kind words. And a couple of questions to Nada, who brings a lot of positive energy. Yes, indeed, in her approach, if I may. In a world and growing the greed, how do we deal with your focus on, I think, emotional
intelligence, yes.
And the cruelty of show me the money approach? Another question is, how do you think COVID will impact attention of the business world into emotional intelligence, which it should, or will those focused on greed will not change, and those who care about emotional intelligence will grow more attention? So I think basically
we will cover those questions. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much, Muhammad, actually, for your interest and for your spot-on questions. I think, Nidal, we are going to respond very shortly to all those questions.
Yes.
Look forward, Muhammad. Hopefully, if after we do respond, if you still have questions, please feel free to ask us. We can move on. I can just quickly explain the emotional intelligence part and NLP, so we can then proceed with the the other questions, Nidal.
Please,
Yeah.
yes, it's all yours.
So that's the energy body. How to understand the energy body. So of course there are different modalities. One of them is Reiki. Now on top of that, in my early 30s, end of my 20s, I became aware also, to respond to Muhammad's question, I became aware of how important is our mental health, and how important it is to basically, understand the thoughts that go through our head, how we speak to ourselves, our internal dialogue, how we are harsh sometimes on ourselves, how we tend sometimes to be perfect. So all those inner dialogues and inner stories that we tell ourselves, at the end of the day, lead us to become very stressed and not empowered and not resourceful at all. So I became aware of that, and I thought, okay, let me go meditate, let me do some yoga. It's known to have health benefits, to calm the mind. So I learned meditation. Then I came across neuro-linguistic programming, which is basically a revolutionary approach on how to basically rewire and change your thinking patterns. And what it does is, so N is neuro-linguistic programming. So you find a new language for your neurons, a new language to talk to yourself, how to talk to yourself,
Wow,
and to empower yourself.
That's so
exactly.
deep.
So that's basically the idea here. It's like, when you go to a psychologist, nothing against psychology. I wanted to be a psychologist as well, in parallel of me being a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
So basically the approach of NLP is, instead of asking, for example, Nidal, what's wrong with you, Nidal? Why do you have this issue? What's wrong? And we dig into the why. So what we do, the revolutionary approach, thinking out of the box approach, yes, is that in NLP, is that we consider that people do not have problems and they do not need fixing. What we need, basically, all of us, is to change the thinking pattern. How to think. We just have thinking patterns. We simply need to reorganize them. And how to do that, I will give some examples in a bit. So that was my awareness about, the mental health. So when I studied NLP, I learned all the techniques that are necessary to how to communicate with yourself, how to communicate with others, what to say to yourself, what to say to others, how to build and set your boundaries, how to learn how to say no, how to, empower yourself. And then in my mid also 30s, I became aware that, what, Nada, the energy is great, your mind and the mental health is great, but what is the root of all that? It's your emotions. The emotional health, emotional intelligence. So the emotional health is basically the root, simply because what are emotions, Nidal? Emotions are your inner thoughts and your inner dialogue and the inner stories you say to yourself. For example, I am tired. Okay, so I say to myself, oh, I am tired. And even if I'm not, I feel I'm gonna get tired, let's say, if I'm gonna work so late, I start thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna work so late. So I tell myself a story. Oh, I'm gonna start working so late. I have this exam. I'm gonna work so late. I'm gonna be stressed. I'm gonna be stressed. So I tell myself those stories, and I see images. Oh my God, this is how I'm gonna be looking. Oh my! And then the moment I start talking and having those negative thoughts, then what happens is I have a physiological response. So I automatically feel stressed and tired. So the emotion is basically the equation of my inner pictures and my inner thoughts, plus the physiological responses that create the emotion. So if I know how to deal with my emotions, I then know how to deal with my thoughts, I then know how to deal with my energy, and then I empower myself, and I am resourceful, and I can communicate better with myself and with others. So when I came to understand that, and to understand the importance of being emotionally fit at first, then to become mentally fit, then the energy is both ways, so it's in parallel. then I said to myself, okay, this is how I can be a more successful lawyer, a more successful leader, a more successful, person with myself, with my family, with my friends, with my colleagues, with everyone.
Interacting with others, yes.
Yes, yes.
It looks like you completed the whole picture with the those three categories of let's say self-healing, Reiki, emotional intelligence, and the NLP. Uh, that's really amazing. Let me take this question also from Almaha. It's regarding the emotional intelligence. Can emotional intelligence help us develop our social intelligence? If yes, what else can help?
Yes, of course. So, okay, so since there are a lot of questions about emotional intelligence, I'm gonna just give a bit of the background. So, what is emotional intelligence? You know, so basically, when we are at school, we all learned that it's our IQ. The more you are
Intelligent, smart.
intelligent, smart, great, amazing grades you have, the more successful you are. So if I have great grades, say in my case, like I had to have amazing grades, so that I am accepted in a university.
Yes.
So the IQ was very important. Until now, a lot of people still consider IQ being, something very important. And if your IQ is high, then you are successful.
Yes.
Now, what happened around the 1970s, 1980s, you have basically uh, some psychologists, like Mr. Mayer, for example, who has discovered the concept of being emotionally intelligent. And then in 1995, Mr. Daniel Goleman codified, it means that he has written about emotional intelligence and has made a book in 1995, which is called Emotional Intelligence. I think, yes, it's somewhere here. So this book, basically, in this book, he explained, to respond to the question, so he explained that what is emotional intelligence? It's simply a different way of being intelligent. It means that it is for example, I'll give an example. If I am at school and I got amazing grades, but if I have an exam and I need to deal with the stress of the exam,
Yes.
my IQ will not help me, because
Exactly.
what will help me is how I deal with my stress, how I deal with my emotions, and this is what emotional intelligence is all about. So it's a different way of being intelligent. So it's how to be intelligent with your emotions, because as I explained before, emotions are inner thoughts and inner stories. So if I know how to deal with my emotions, then I am more successful. And to respond here, according to Daniel Goleman, there are 4 pillars of emotional intelligence. It means, first of all, I am aware, Nidal, of my emotions.
Mhm.
Self-awareness. When I am aware of my emotions, like I am aware, like, oh my God, I'm getting stressed. So I become aware of the stress emotion. Then the second step is how to manage it, self-management. So when I learn how to manage my emotions, and I will show you how later. And then when I know I am self-aware and I self-manage my emotion, then what happens is I am being able to communicate better with myself and with others. So that creates, to respond to the question, a social awareness. Okay, so I have better relationships with others. I understand not only my emotions, but the emotions of others. So I build a social awareness, empathy towards others. So this creates, so it's linked. So the 4 pillars are self-awareness, self-management, uh, 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 relationship management, and social awareness management, to respond to the question. Those are the 4 pillars that we learn to become emotionally fit and emotionally intelligent to deal with the challenges that we experience in our lives.
So basically, the answer is yes. Emotional intelligence develop our social intelligence because it's
Yes.
one of the pillars. Is there anything else that could develop our social intelligence?
To develop our social intelligence, in my opinion, it goes first with emotional intelligence.
Mhm.
Also, you could, the more also speaking about the energy field. So the more I am aware of my own energy, and I am aware also of the energy of the environment where I am socially intelligent because I am aware of the energy of others and what state they are, so that I can be more resourceful when approaching them. So Reiki, or let's say the energy, studying energy also helps in social intelligence. Emotional intelligence helps also in social intelligence as well.
Social. Regarding Muhammad Khadir question about the COVID and the greediness, how we can,
Yes,
but do you want to answer this directly?
yes, yes, I will. So basically, as we are all aware, to talk about the pandemic, like no one expected the pandemic. So it's very normal. I mean, with the pandemic, everybody, I wouldn't say everybody, not to generalize, but like it created the pandemic and COVID created a lot of stress, a lot of fear, a lot
Exactly.
of
Yes.
anxiety. So what will happen to me? A lot of people lost their jobs, people lost their friends, so there was grief. So those are the pandemic itself is something we cannot control. It's something outside our control. So the idea here is, yes, with the pandemic, a lot of people became more stressed, more anxious, more depressed, more grief. They're feeling more grief. But the idea here is, okay, I cannot control the pandemic. It's something outside my control.
Totally.
But what I can control is how
Our
I deal with it
emotions.
and how I approach it. So there's a saying which says it's not, so it's basically, it's not the emotion that is the problem. It's how I face it. So now it's not the stress, it's not the anxiety, it's not the fear it's not the grief itself that is the problem. It's how I deal with it and how I face it.
The way we react.
So
Yes.
exactly. So to give an example how we can actually deal with such situations. Now, our brain, okay, from an emotional point of view, our brain, the way it works, it's divided in a simplistic way into like three main parts. You have the limbic brain, which is basically the side of your neck, at the back of your neck. That limbic brain is basically where our emotions are stored. We call it the limbic brain. It's the reptile brain. It's our response. It's like,
How we
uh,
react. Yeah.
how we react like an animal, like the animal world and the human world. We both have this reptile brain, the emotions. So basically, when there is this external COVID, for example, we start panicking, we start having stress, we start feeling negative, etc. And we think that we don't have a choice. That's the idea. I don't have a choice. What am I going to do? Oh my God. I start feeling afraid and I start panicking and I start. So what's happening in that case is that my emotion, I'm being led by fear. I'm being led by stress. I'm being led by negativity. So I'm letting them control me. Whereas I can control my emotions, and I will show you how. So I can control my emotions and I can say, okay, fine. Now, my blood, when I am under stress and I'm negative, the blood is stuck here. There is not a proper flow of blood in the brain. So what I need to do, because what differentiates me today, Nidal, from an animal and the animal world, is that I have language, I have reason, I have my brain. I have the choice. Animals don't have choice. I have the choice. So each time, so the idea is to let the blood flow from my limbic brain all the way to my, what we call it, the neocortex. This is my neocortex. So this is my reason. It means it's the CEO of the brain, the neocortex. It is basically the idea of having choice, of saying to myself, okay, I cannot control the pandemic. I cannot do anything about it. What I can do is how I react. So each time I notice there is fear or there is anxiety, and it just takes 3 steps to change those. I can teach those 3 steps as a as a tool, that a practical tool that everybody can use, Muhammad and anyone. So basically, what we do is, okay, I will start noticing that, I am feeling stressed, I am feeling fear, because what happens is it's a collapse of images. Because I'm starting to tell myself, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Oh my God, this COVID, I'm gonna get sick. Oh my God, I'm gonna lose my family. So I start saying to myself all those negative thoughts. And I start seeing pictures, and I panic, because fear and anxiety, it's a collapse of images together. So what I do is, the moment I start feeling all this, because of course we cannot not feel them, so it's good to feel them. So the moment I feel them and I identify, so I'm self-aware, the first pillar, I'm self-aware, okay, I started to panic, I started to feel fear. So what I do is, I remember that I want to shoot the blood into my neocortex. I have a reason. I have this amazing power of language, of talking to myself. So what I do is I say, okay, I feel I'm stressed. This is the first step. So I identify, I'm noticing. So I take a pause. I take my right hand, Nidal, and I put it on my shoulder, and I say, okay, I noticed. I take a deep breath. I notice I'm feeling anxious, I'm afraid, etc. And I take a deep breath. And just by taking those few seconds of, breaking this, breaking it, and taking this pause and taking this deep breath, it's just, this sends a message to the brain to calm down. So I'm already in a calmer state. So I notice, I say to myself, I notice. And then what I do is, I take a moment of choice. I say to myself, okay, I have language. Now, do I choose to put myself in a more resourceful state? So what would I want to feel instead? I want to feel safe. I want to feel secure. I want to feel loved. So then after this moment of choice, I put myself in an amazing technique of emotional intelligence called the emotion yoga. So I learn how to step by choice and consciously into feeling relaxed, feeling safe. And basically, this will need another session, but basically through consciously reminding ourselves that I have a choice. I have the language. Just the picture of shooting the blood into the neocortex, taking a moment, noticing, being self-aware, and then taking a moment of choice. Do I want to react, or do I want to, act? And what do I do when I actually act and decide to step into feeling relaxed? Because if I am anxious, I cannot plan anything. If I am feeling sick, for example, for COVID, and I start panicking, I'm gonna die. Is this useful? It's not. So what I do is I take a moment of choice. I say, okay, I noticed. And then there's a moment of choice to consciously use my brain. And let's say, okay, take a piece of paper, contact whomever I need to contact, organize, I need to contact this doctor, this hospital, etc. So whereas if I keep on being in an unresourceful state of anxious and fear and negativity, I will not do anything. And thinking outside the box, also another way also is to say, okay, what is this emotion of fear trying to tell me? So instead of fighting my fear and fighting this emotion of anxiety and saying, oh my God, I am anxious. Oh my God, I don't want to be anxious. I don't want to be anxious. What happens when you say, I don't want to be anxious, Nidal?
We need to understand, yes.
Yes, and when you say, I am anxious, I don't want to be anxious. I don't want to be anxious. I don't want to be anxious.
We will get stuck, yeah.
You get stuck, and the anxious and feeling and the fear and the stress becomes, it will increase. So instead of fighting this emotion of fear and from COVID or from whatever, or this anxiety, instead of fighting it, I want to make friends with it. In which sense, I want to ask this emotion, okay, you are here to tell me something. I am afraid. I am afraid of what? What are you trying to tell me? You have a positive intention. This fear has a signal for me to do something differently. So what is this signal? So I stop, I take this moment of choice. Okay, I am afraid. Afraid of what? Okay, to die. Okay, what can I do about it if I keep on being afraid? Nothing. So what do I do? What is this emotion trying to tell me? To do something differently. What can I do differently?
Enjoy
To
your
start
life, for example.
enjoy my life. For example, be preventive, prepare, for example, in COVID, to respond to COVID, prepare the list of doctors where I need to go, what I need to do, etc. So, yeah. And then, for example, the grief is a tacky emotion. It's the tackiest. Okay, of course, when we lose someone, it's not easy. We cannot say, okay, I noticed and what do I want to feel instead? So the idea of emotional intelligence and what I teach in my classes is that we need to feel the grief. We cannot fight the emotion. We need to feel it. You have to give yourself time to grieve, to cry, to absorb and feel all those emotions.
Take
And then
everything out. Huh?
exactly, and then the more you feel it and your body feels it, you hit rock bottom. You can then relax and release this emotion by basically you can beat pillows. We teach also techniques of beating pillows, of stepping on the treadmill, of like returning the anger or whatever we feel back to Corona or to whomever violated us in our space. But we don't let it out on others. And when I grieve, I don't grieve in a pity way. Oh my God, my God. No, I grieve in a releasing way, in a creative, releasing, conscious way,
To
so
let
that I
go.
let
Yeah.
it out and I move on.
And Nada, you teach all this and you coach all this, right?
Yes, we have specific techniques. We don't have enough time today with Nidal to teach those techniques, but like yes, I will of course together with your help. I have given several free webinars on those things where we teach few techniques, and then I'm animating a foundation course which is very interesting for everybody. I wish I learned this myself when I was a kid, and I would love to spread awareness to kids at an early stage and to parents and to everyone in schools and universities. So what I'm doing is it's a foundation course on emotional intelligence that is taken from Daniel Goleman, who is the founder, and from my mentor and basically master coach and trainer, Dr. Doris Greenwood. Hello to her. So basically, she is my mentor, and I studied with her. We have an emotional intelligence foundation course coming up now on the 2nd and 3rd of July.
I think I attend one of those.
Yes, we attended one webinar. Yes, indeed. Thank you for that. Yes.
I encourage everybody to take a look. It's really helpful. And again, Mohammed Khadir, he has another question, but
Yes.
because we have a lot of ground to cover today. You see, I told you you are a superwoman, and we need more than 45 minutes for this.
Doesn't matter.
So,
What do you want us to do? Shall we respond to Muhammad or we continue and then take his question
is
later?
it possible later we can
Yes, of course.
in the comments?
Yes.
We
Yes,
apologize, Mohammed, but thank you for your engagement and thanks for all the
Thank you
questions.
so much. Yes, thank you so much.
So I want to jump and talk about Nada Sadr, the leader.
Yes,
Your position now is in the front, lines as a leader, senior regional legal consultant
correct. Yeah.
for a big company. You are a master coach. It's also kind of leadership. My question is, what you can tell us about Nada Sadr as a leader, and what is the criteria for a successful leader after you are practicing leadership every day?
Thank you. That's a very interesting question. Thank you so much, Nidal. So basically, my idea of being a leader. So the way I have learned at first, and the way we are aware of what leader means is, like when I am a leader, I need to take care of my company goals. of the short and long-term targets. I need to take care, to respond to Muhammad's question, to how much money I need to bring to the company. Being a leader of my team, for example, the head of my team, I need to make sure that my team is productive because I have a target that I need to achieve. So this is the old approach, in my opinion, where leaders, and so many leaders until now, they consider that what they care about is to, first of all, to achieve their targets, their own targets, short or long-term targets. Second, how much money they can bring to the company. I'm not saying that's not good, but like it's not enough.
It should be part of the leadership, not everything else.
It should be, but yes. So so basically, some leaders will look into short and long-term targets, money, return on investment, what we call ROI, return on investment, and how much am I, how much investment is coming back, how much money am I making to the company.
And this the investment, it also includes the human capital, right? Not only the assets.
Of course. How much staff I need, of course, the human capital, who is my team, etc. So that's so when you are a leader who is focused only on this, what happens is the people that you are leading do not feel involved, do not feel motivated. If they feel that, okay, they need to work from morning till evening like robots in order to, to achieve the target, and all they care about is to achieve the target and to run around and to get money and to have short and long-term goals only for the company. And if you are a leader and this is what you are trying in your leadership to achieve with your people, you end up burning your people out, burning yourself out and burning your people out. So what I realized, being workaholic myself, like I'm burning myself out. It's not helpful. My team is burning themselves out. It's not helpful at all. So what is the criteria of a successful leader? Is not only this, it's that the leader knows how to create and build trust with his people. So he needs to inspire trust. He needs to be emotionally intelligent, the leader. And what does that mean? He needs to be aware, okay, of how he can motivate and understand his people's emotions, the stress that the people are going through, the personal issues that his team is going through, how he can listen to them, how he can be trusted and how they can trust him. And he needs to involve them around a goal where they feel they are involved. So a higher purpose goal where they feel engaged, not the money. And so he has to see, for example, Hilton as a company is known to be one of the most top-notch emotional intelligent leadership company, simply because one of their values and how they inspire as leaders their teams is that, okay, we are spreading sun and fun and hospitality to the clients.
And they let them be part of this process. Yeah,
exactly. So as a leader, you want to be part of this process, of a higher purpose process, not of the money and the short-term goal. Because then, yes, me as a leader, if I have a short-term goal and I care only about my success, okay, I will succeed. But what will happen to me? Nothing much after a while. But a successful leader will want to, first of all, build trust with his team, be emotionally intelligent by having empathy. Empathy is very important today. So when you have empathy, when you understand your team, when your team knows that you care about them on a personal level and on a professional level, and then the third one is to try to find and to connect them around the goal, a higher purpose where they all feel connected and they all feel that they are, as you said, engaged. In building, in achieving the target. And once they feel engaged and they are trusted and they feel trusted and they're not burnt out and they are thanked for their work, and you understand as a leader their emotions and you have empathy, then what they feel is you create like an amazing circle of trust, of empathy, of working with a team, empowering your people, and when you empower your people, they produce greater results. And this is how you, as a leader, are emotionally intelligent. And and once you do all this, then you become a more successful leader, and you are happier with yourself and with others. So that's why I am also trying to wanting to create this awareness in Samsung where I work, because no offense to the company where I work, like any other company, they have, of course, they value their employees, but like they are more focused on
Targeting.
achieving targets, money, return on investment. Yalla, let's have sales, let's increase sales, let's increase that. So we end up being burned out, and we want, as successful leaders, to avoid such, old-fashioned, in my opinion, let me call it, kind of leadership.
So do you consider yourself a transformational leader?
To be honest, I'll let others judge that, but like, I consider myself having empathy, and being a person that my team trusts, and I have a lot to share, and I share my knowledge, and
so you are.
Since I have those qualities, I tend, and I always strive to become, day after day, even a more successful and a more transformational leader. At the end of the day, no one is perfect, but I'm trying. We all try. But like, as long as you are emotionally fit, as long as you have this you are emotionally intelligent as a leader, create trust, spread knowledge, you are transformational. Yes.
Criticizing the old-fashioned leadership school means that you are their transformational leader.
Let me say that, yeah, well, I was there as well. This is how I was thinking as well. It's just that, let's say, it's a different approach. Like, each leader has his own technique. But in my opinion, the more you are emotionally intelligent, and the more you focus on, building trust in your people, empowering them, having them all go around, focusing your attention as a leader and the attention of your team on the higher goal, on the higher purpose, on something where they can commit, where they feel engaged, the better you get results. The more results you get, the more successful you are. So it's just, let's say, a different approach of being a leader. Yeah.
Nada, we still have a couple pages of questions, and
go ahead, pick up.
Do we still have time to? You can stay with us.
I can stay with you as long as you have time. Okay. I have time. Yeah. Of course.
Nada, my second part of the interview is regarding your presence on social media. Why would a very successful lawyer and a very successful master coach be on social media? What social media represent for you these days?
Okay, so thank you for that question. Actually, to be honest with you, I am an old school kind of a person in my thinking, in the sense of, in which sense? Okay, I am revolutionary, but like, when it comes to learning and the learning process, and how, because for me, social media, is spreading awareness about me, etc. I am someone who likes to deal with people face to face, to shake hands, to, talking about the energy field and the body, to feel the energy around me, and to deal with people. I like my pen. Being a lawyer, I still like to write on paper, to take a paper. Yeah. So going online and digital and social media, I mean, I'm still not that great. So I know that I am a good lawyer, let's say, but I know that I'm not that great. It's also good to know what you are not good in doing, so that you can delegate. We will talk about the learning process later. So I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. So I don't know much about all the high technology now, even though I work for Samsung, but like in social media, like how to be an expert in Instagram, how to do the amazing posts, the feeds, all those things, how to create a super duper amazing website, all those technical skills that exist now on social media. I mean, I do believe that we cannot learn everything, and that we can delegate. So you can delegate someone, you can have someone who is an expert in that field to help me create, let's say, whatever I need to create. But so I am on social media simply because it's a way now to communicate, given the fact, even before COVID, social media has been, the new trend for the past several years of communicating. So it's a different way of communicating that I respect. It might not be my first communication way of communicating with people, but now, given the COVID and the situation where we are and the pandemic, it has helped us communicate. It has like the social media became even more important for us to communicate, not only on a local level, but like to reach you. Now you are in the States, like it spreads. It's a very good way of spreading awareness on who I am, what I do. So through Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever other means in social media, it's a good way. It has its advantages of spreading awareness of I will be able to reach out to more people. Whereas if I communicate today, I'm living in Dubai, to people in Dubai. If I want to communicate to people outside, it's not that easy. So social media has its advantages of
There's no
spreading.
borders anymore, yes.
Yes, of like having a reach, an international reach. It has also its advantage of spreading more knowledge. It's a way of communicating and spreading and empowering and your image. Studying the market, it helps you study the market to do a search engine optimization, to target your audience into your website. It has its advantages, I can say.
The social media itself, not far from today, they pivot. Like LinkedIn 5 years ago wasn't the same as of today. Like today, LinkedIn gave us the opportunity to meet with you, learn from you, while you are in a different country and in a different time zone, and it's not easy, to be engaged with persons all around the world, except with the facility now on social media. So, Nada, I want to go back to the thinking patterns you mentioned. How important is to change our thinking pattern?
Yes, that's a very nice question. So, how important is it to change our thinking patterns? Yes, because what I was trying to explain, Nidal, is that people, the way I think and the out of the box thinking that I acquired from not only being a lawyer, but basically being an NLP kind of coach, is that people do not have problems and people do not need fixing. What people need is to basically learn how to reorganize their thinking patterns. Simply because when you organize the way you think and you learn how to talk to yourself in a positive, resourceful way, the more emotionally fit you are, the more mentally fit you are, and the more energetic from an energy perspective, the more you are more energetic, fit. So if you think about it, if you learn how to organize your thought process and what you say to yourself, you become more successful, happier in your personal and professional life. Again, coming to the brain slide. So basically what you do is you start noticing, how am I talking to myself, Nidal? What am I saying to myself? So instead of, if someone comes to me, for example, and tells me, Nada, I am depressed. I am so depressed. My God, I am depressed. So if I come and tell this person, so this person is thinking that he is depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So his thought pattern is that he is thinking that he is depressed. So if he comes to me and he tells me, he goes and dwells into, and then the psychologist will tell him,
Why are you depressed? Who is depressed in your family? Who is it? Your
Boring
mother? Is
question.
it your father? And they tell him, they label him, no, okay, you are depressed, take a pill, thank you very much. And the person will take a pill for depression, okay, and because it's easy, it has a very quick effect on
Solution.
solving exactly, on solving his depression. But then the root cause of his thinking pattern and of his emotions is not resolved. So basically the idea is for this person is to tell him, oh, you are coming to me because you thought you had what we call or what is so called
Wow.
depression.
Analyzing every single feeling.
But when I tell him, Nidal, the language, instead of telling him you are depressed, where are you depressed? Who is depressed? So you tell him, oh, you think you are depressed, or what is so-called depression, because he might think he's depressed, but if you dig further and ask him, like, okay, so how do you know? How specifically do you know that you are depressed? So those tools, the meta model technique of NLP, where you tell him, how specifically do you know?
Why did
What
you
does it
label
mean?
yourself as depressed?
Exactly. What does depression mean to you? And he might tell you, well, when I feel, frustrated and I feel sad and I feel, so then you notice that the guy is not depressed. He's feeling sad. He's feeling anxious. He's feeling angry.
Hopeless, or yeah.
Hopeless, exactly. So he labeled himself as, oh my God, depressed. They gave him a pill of depression. But then when you help him rewire his thought process, how? First of all, by putting whatever he's telling you in the past, you tell him, oh, you thought you had it. So when he looks at you, it's like, oh, and then you tell him, okay, maybe what you thought is depression is something else. And you tell him, okay, so now, okay, how specifically is it, what specifically does depression mean? And then he tells you, okay, it's that and that. So you help him identify what he feels. And the moment you help him identify what he feels and then to feel it and release it, the more successful he is. And you don't need actually to directly give him a medicine. I'm not against medicine, but like you need first to understand and rewire. This is the power of rewire your thinking process. To put first of all whatever the issue is, to put it in the past. Oh, I think I have something called depression. So it's something called depression. It might not be. So you then don't give it that of an importance. You don't label it or use those big labels and generalizations of big terms and stuff. Because the moment you start saying, "Oh my God, I have depression," you tell him, "Oh, you have depression," "Oh, your mother has depression," he will feel more depressed. Exactly. And if you tell him, "Okay, why you are depressed? What did you do? Why did you put yourself in depression?" He will feel more depressed. It's not helpful. So what you need to, the way we think is, when you rewire the thinking process, is you have to say and keep in mind to tell yourself and others, like there is the saying, say what you want others to think about. And don't say what you don't want others to think about. So I don't want to say to him, you are depressed, because don't say what you don't want him to think about, because if I tell him, don't be depressed, don't be depressed, why are you depressed? He will be depressed. He will keep on feeling depressed. But if I say to him, okay, maybe what you thought was depression is something else. Maybe you're just tired or frustrated or whatever. So when you give him the choice and you rewire his thought process, it helps, at least for a second, for him and for his brain to not react. And as I said, to move the blood flow from the limbic brain and to react like an animal. He will know, like, he has a choice. All addictions, or our addictions, for example, I'm addicted to cigarettes, etc. All our addictions actually is that I don't have a choice. The cigarette is more important. My depression is more important than me. I allow my depression, my emotion, whatever it is, to control me instead of me being able to run the emotion and control it. By those 3 steps, Nidal, again, I notice, I feel first, I identify, I help my client identify that it is not depression by putting it in the past. by making him understand that it is so-called depression because 80% of our emotions, as per the statistics, are not properly identified. So the moment I help him identify it and make him notice it, feel it, release it through the techniques that we learn, rewire his thought process and say to himself, okay, I have a neocortex. I have a brain, I have language, I have a choice. The difference between me and an animal is I have language. I can rewire my language. I can choose to tell myself a different story. I can say to myself, okay, I might be depressed now, or I might be feeling tired, but instead of saying what I feel, the bad things I feel, I help the client look at what he wants to achieve. So this is also another way that we learn in NLP. So instead of telling him why you have this problem, I tell him, okay, so you are here for a change. You came here to me for a change. You don't want to feel depressed. You want to feel depressed? No, I don't want to feel depressed. No one who wants to feel depressed. No one wants to feel depressed. Okay? So I don't tell him you are depressed, why you are depressed. I don't say what I don't want him to think of. So I say what I want him to think of. I tell him, okay, you are here for a change. Sah? Yes. Okay. What would you like to accomplish? How can I help you today to accomplish what you would like to have?
So it's like
this is the process.
It's like a process to take his hand or her hand.
Yes.
To find the solution and, as you said, rewire the thinking.
Yes, and to find a solution for himself by asking him moving away, by helping him to move away from depression, for example, and moving towards what he wants to achieve. So I want to help him move towards what he wants, and he will find
very
his own
interesting.
solution.
It's very interesting, really. Nada, with all your achievements, and the list never ends.
Thank you, Nidal. No, we keep learning.
Do you think is there anything impossible we can't achieve?
To be honest with you, there's nothing impossible. Again, I started like noticing the words that I say to myself, like impossible. It's impossible.
It's out of
I can't do it. So when I start thinking it's impossible, then I am saying to myself it's impossible, then I will feel that it's impossible. So what I need to do is to say to myself, rewire my thinking and say, okay, I have language. I rewire the thinking. Okay, I tell myself a different story. It's possible. It's always possible as long as you love what you do, as long as you have the will, as you said, and the determination. Then nothing is impossible. Everything is possible. Especially that we are learning processes. We are learning systems. We are designed to succeed. We are designed to learn. We are designed to improve.
It's part of our nature as a human.
Part of our nature. Yes, it's part of our nature. We are here to improve. We are designed to succeed. So nothing is impossible at all.
And with your career journey and coaching journey, you proved it. Finally, Nada, when, where, and how interested person can contact you if they are interested, let's say, in coaching or learning more from the superwoman, Nada?
Thank you, Yanida. Well, basically, they can reach me talking about social media. So basically, I have a page on Instagram and on Facebook, and it's called nada.n, N for Nadim, my father. So nada.n.sadr, my family name. So I have an Insta page and a Facebook page. So they can see all the posts and events that are happening. And also they can reach me on through the page. They can connect and click on the WhatsApp, because I linked my WhatsApp, my number, my personal number and work number on my Facebook and Insta page. So they can also connect through the page on WhatsApp on +9715 0804 9866, and also through my email, which is also posted on my page, which is sadernada@hotmail.com, or Sanafan, which is my logo, my slogan, dance your way to self-mastery, with Sanafan being, my name and the fun, because we want to learn.
Tell you about it.
We want to learn and we want to have fun. So Sanafan. So basically, my email would be nada.sanafan@gmail.com. Also, if they can join me through my Gmail.
And also, you are on LinkedIn. They can.
And I am also on LinkedIn, Nada Sader. They can also join me on LinkedIn for information. Also, of course. Yes.
And by the way, do you know I'm connected with you on LinkedIn back from 2012. I was shocked. Like, it's time flies, and I'm so impressed with what you achieved, Nada. Any future projects, webinars? Would you like to share it with us and the audience before we end this stream?
Thank you so much, first of all, Nidal. It's true, ever since we know each other from a very long time, actually, through social media. So again, an advantage of social media, of course, for connecting people. And I am really very honored and would like to thank you once again for hosting me.
My pleasure,
Maya. Thank you so much, Nidal. Basically, yes. So, okay, since I, as a lawyer, I'm working as a lawyer in Samsung. So that is, if you want any legal advice, yes, if you need any legal advice, of course, you can contact me. Now, the projects for Reiki, so what I do is you can contact me through my Facebook page or Insta page, and you can basically send me a message. And what I do is I offer Sanafan packages. So I have, for Reiki, what I do is I do one-to-one healing sessions. So I can do it face-to-face when someone comes to me. So I can do the one-to-one session face-to-face, or I can do it online also, because you learn how to do a distant healing.
Via Zoom, I think, right?
Via Zoom, basically. So we could do a distant healing via Zoom. For Reiki, also, what I'm planning to do is I'm writing my books for level 1, 2, and 3. So I will be teaching soon for whomever is interested in learning Reiki. So I will be also look forward. I will be also announcing, hopefully by the end of this year, the level 1, level 2, and level 3 of Reiki. I will be also animating shortly some free webinars on Reiki and on tools, how people can, become more aware of energy. This is for Reiki. For emotional intelligence, I hosted, as you know, and thank you for attending, I hosted so far several free webinars on Zoom together with my mentor, Dr. Doris. And I will be hosting as well additional free webinars in the coming month. I'll keep you posted. Just keep an eye on my Insta and Facebook pages.
I'll be sharing, yes.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, and what I have in emotional intelligence at the moment is I have a course, a foundation course, which is the ABC, the 101 of how to become emotionally intelligent. And you learn amazing techniques of emotion yoga. You learn how to cry. You learn how to consciously cry and consciously laugh. And you learn how to consciously, so that the moment of choice that I was explaining. So it's not about crying and feeling sorry about yourself or laughing because someone makes you laugh. No, but consciously learning and practicing your emotions, practicing all types of emotions. You learn that in the foundation.
That's interesting.
So because how can you identify that I am now in a state of sadness? You need to learn how it feels to be sad. So you learn consciously how to step in and associate yourself with this emotion, and how to consciously decide, because you have the choice to step out of that emotion into a more resourceful one, into feeling happy, feeling, funny, etc. So basically, you learn the emotion yoga, you learn the emotional health model, which we didn't have the time to talk about today, basically, which is how to set boundaries with yourself and with others, because if you love yourself, you need to learn how to say no. It's not about saying no, but you learn like effective communication skills with yourself and with others uh, through the emotional health model, which is basically the idea is like a cell. When you're sick, your cell is sick and it starts leaking. If you cut, for example, your skin starts, the blood starts going out from your skin. So your cells, the skin cells, are leaky.
Leaking.
So it's like, the metaphor here is my emotional body, when I am angry at others and I shout at others, instead of learning how to shout and how to be angry, but how to release it in a creative way, which also we learn in this course that I'm going to give. So basically, like this cell which is leaky, I am leaking my emotions on you, Nidal. I start shouting at others, so I'm leaking as a leaky cell, a sick cell. I am leaky in my relationships with myself and others. So you learn how to actually stop the leakage.
It's like anger management and
it's an anger management. Now, of course, there are so many schools that teach you to deal with anger. Some people tell you, okay, through meditation, you have to control your anger. What we learn here is no. What we are going to learn in this course of that is going to happen on the 2nd and 3rd of July. It's a weekend, Friday and Saturday. It's a full day, 2 full days from morning till evening, from 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 Dubai time, up to 4:30 in the afternoon. And you get an international certificate from the Original Society of NLP. So basically, through that course, you learn, as you're saying, that how to release anger, but in a creative way, in the sense of not like through, no offense, I am yoga also, and I like yoga and I also meditate. But as meditation, we believe, and the way we teach it is that you need to let out your anger. You need to let it out. You learn how to beat pillows. You learn how to jump, doing a hara sound, which is a sound from your first chakra, which is from the belly, not a sound. So as you do that sound and as you actually release the anger from the body, because all emotions are stuck in the body. That's why we feel sick. Because the root of our sickness is due to our emotions. The more you heal your emotional state, the better you are. So basically, we do anger management techniques of creatively releasing the anger from the body, because we believe that it's stuck in the body and we need to kinesthetically take it out of the body so that we can handle it better. And we find creative ways of handling anger. Wow. So that's one. So basically, in emotional intelligence, there will be free webinars and there will be this course. We have also a discounted rate. Definitely, people can contact me through you or through my pages, for attending this amazing course. And also, so far, I'm planning as future projects to spread awareness on the importance of becoming emotionally fit as a leader, so and in organizations, and also so I will be conducting trainings.
And you have the experience from the corporate world.
Yes, in the corporate world, I will give trainings to organizations, and my interest also is to teach parents and kids, spread awareness to kids. Me being a mother, becoming a mother soon, to learn how to basically help your kid to express his emotions instead of telling him don't cry, because we grew up parents telling us, I mean, they did the best they can, of course. They tell us don't cry, you should not cry, don't cry, you are a boy, you should not cry, etc. So as we said, when we solve the emotion becomes bigger. So what we need to do is to help the child express his emotions. If he wants to cry, let him cry. If he wants to feel angry, let him feel angry. But what we need to do is to explain to him that you shouldn't be angry on others and shout on others. No, go to your room, release your anger. Say, I am angry, Mama, I want to go to the room. You help him and you teach him how to let it out, and then he comes back. Even I will tell him, Mommy, now I am angry, instead of losing it because I have a long I came back from work, Nidal, and I'm very tired and I release anger. I'm stressed, and it happens. We're human beings. So what we learn is okay, I'll tell my child, Mommy is now angry. She will go to her room and she will come back. So I go to my room and I release it and then I come back. So this is how you are not leaky on others. So
And
spreading this awareness.
I think married people, they have no problem with that. You know, there's the spouse always ready to take all this stress. I'm gonna pay for this.
Yeah, well, you know, like some people can handle, others can't. I mean, we're human beings at the end of the day. It's just about spreading awareness and learning, you know, that you have the choice to keep on feeling sad or feeling angry, or to say to yourself, okay, I am a human being, I have language, I have this moment of choice, I notice it, and I want to learn to be self-aware and self-manage my emotion so that I am emotionally fit to respond to the questions, socially intelligent, and building better relationships with myself and with others.
I'm so interested about this topic, the awareness of parents and kids. Maybe because I'm a father and I have two kids, and they are in an age I think we need to interact more. I want you to promise me live that we will have another session. I enjoyed talking to you and have all the valuable information. I'm impressed, and I wish you all the best, Nada Sadir. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for all the valuable information, and I hope we will meet you in person soon.
Thank you so much, Nidal. I promise you live that I look forward. Actually, I'm honored to come again on your channel live and to discuss. Since you also share the same interest like me of spreading awareness to kids, we can discuss this also. I'm sure that also a lot of parents are interested in how to become more emotionally fit with themselves and with their kids. So I promise you that. And
It's recorded.
yes, it is. I promise you that. And thank you so much one more time for having me on your channel. I want to thank also the audience once again for taking the time from their busy schedule, and also for you for taking the time from your busy schedule and to invest in yourself, for yourself, to yourself. So I would like to greet the audience and to clap for the audience
I'm
and
gonna
for
clap
you.
with you.
Thank
This is
you
what
so, so
we do
much.
in your webinars. Thank you very much, Nada Sadir.
Thank you so much.
We will tell you congrats on your new baby coming on the
Thank you
way,
so much.
and you will be an amazing mother. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nidal.
Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon. Thank you so much. Bye to you and to everyone. Thank you, Nidal.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone, for the engagement, and thank you for my guest for today, the superwoman Nada Sadir. She was live with us from Dubai, and I learned a lot from her experience and from all the learning she did. It's really amazing what we can achieve. Nada Sadir is a live example that there is nothing impossible. We can learn, we can keep learn, and we can teach others how to heal themselves, how to be better with themselves and others. And I wish everybody to be safe and living in peace. This was Nidal Haykal, episode 4 of the Nidal Haykal live show. Thank you very much, everybody, and we'll see you soon with a new guest.